What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Liv and Cor. I'm Cor, that's Liv, and yes, she's in her candy cane sweater because it's almost Christmas, you guys. I'm so excited. Olivia, how are you doing? How was your week?
My week was good. I'm just constantly excited to see Santa. So
Oh,
I'm just like so over the moon excited for the holiday to get all cozy. It's 6 degrees in Chicago. Just like cuddle up with some hot cocoa. It's gonna be great.
6 degrees is far too cold. And in the words of the old adage, Santa Claus is coming to town. So we're so excited about that. Well, you guys, it's actually December and we have meet previews starting for teams. We have so much great gymnastics content that's pumping out, gearing up for an exciting 2026 season. I know Olivia and I are a great mixture of overwhelmed and thrillified, if I have to be honest. And we're just so pumped for season to come. But on this episode, a little preview for what you guys are going to hear. This is our final episode that we are going to do prior to the holidays. And then we're going to take next week off to spend some time with our family and rest for a 14 weeks of season that are going to be absolutely insane. But we're going to take next week off. And then the week before that first weekend, right before New Year's, we're going to release an episode to really summarize all of the meet previews that are happening in the month of December and some gymnastics that you guys should be so excited about coming in the 2026 season. So on this episode, we're going to just browse. We browsed social media. We saw some new skills that got pumped out. And as we browsed, we took the notes and we're going to share them with you. And then this episode will end with our top 10 things we are so excited to see in the 2026 gymnastics season. So Olivia, are you ready for a great episode?
I am, but now I'm like thinking we probably should have done like the 12 things that we're looking forward to in the 2026 season. So maybe we'll off the cuff two more, a la
Uh,
Christmas.
You know what? We love that. Speaking of, I tried the whole Vlogmas thing, and honestly, as of yesterday, I really wanted to give up. But what's going to happen is I'm not going to give up on Vlogmas. It is daunting. A whole video a day is really daunting. I'm not going to give up because all of the gymnasts at Pacific Range shamed me when I told them I was giving up. And then, but what I am going to do is to catch up, I'm going to say Vlogmas day 11, 12, 13, and then regroup tomorrow.
There you go. That's
Okay.
allowed.
Okay, amazing. So yeah, maybe we'll add a couple extra on the top 10. But to get us started, sparkling water time. Olivia, what sparkling water? What bubbles did you bring to this episode?
So I brought bubbles that hit close to home for you. Spindrift lemon. You talk about it all the time. And I do love Spindrift, but I don't actively seek it out for no reason other than I just don't. And I am a classic sparkling water girly, like a lemon or a lime, I love. I'm also obsessed, not that like I pay attention to calories very much, but the fact that this says 3 calories is so funny. I've never seen three. I've seen 0, 5, 10. Three is a new one for me, and I find it
Yeah,
hilarious.
right, right. They didn't squeeze the lemon super hard, just enough for three.
Exactly.
I love
Okay, what did
a
you
little
bring?
spread. Today, I just am mixing it up. I'm mixing it up. A little Christmas gift to myself arrived in the mail with a tag that says Wicked on it because I was influenced on TikTok and I did buy the Elphaba Awala water bottle.
So is that
So,
two water bottle merch items for you?
yeah, and actually they're both sitting next to me. So I have my Elphaba Stanley and I have my Elphaba Awala right here. So while while we're here tonight, we're just going to be hydrating Elphaba style.
Are you going to give us a review? Because I feel like this is a really like I think one of your Vlogmas days should be a review.
A review of all Wicked merch or just water bottle.
I think that's up to your discretion.
Yeah. But the best part about this is that um I just pulled the other Awala into frame, which is the Glinda water bottle. But luckily, the person that I'm gifting this Glinda water bottle to does not listen to the podcast, but this is a Christmas gift. So, yes, I will be doing I will
I
be
was
doing
about to be like, another one?
another one. Another one. Yes,
Well, I love
indeed.
that for you. All right.
Yeah. On that note, cheers to I haven't even taken the tag off. It literally big red. But cheers to episode 25.
We can finally rent a car.
We can finally rent a car. You guys, last week in the episode, we accidentally said it was episode 25. Olivia made that joke, and it actually was episode 24. We're really got ahead of ourselves. Okay, last order of business, Liv's lips of the week. Liv, your lips do look fantastic right now, I might add.
Thank you very much. Thank
Yeah,
you very much.
what are your lips of the week?
So, we're going on the topic of something you enjoy, Corey, and that is the Refi lip gloss. Why does Corey like this, ladies and gentlemen? Metal
You,
tip.
you guys.
It's so good. It comes in a pack of three as a holiday gift set. Really good to gift to family and friends. I'm giving them to my boyfriend's sisters because every year I give them like a little year recap of makeup that I liked from the year. And they always tell me that whenever I like wear makeup, they're like, is that going to be in the bag? So this is actually one of the items that will be in their bag. And I love it. It's so good. It lasts forever. It's a good size. The metal applicator is amazing. You could still probably get it on Sephora before the holiday.
You know what? My recap of the last minute of the Liv's Lips of the Week segment is the fact that we just revealed two Christmas gifts on this episode, hoping and praying that the person who's receiving it doesn't watch On the Floor with Liv and Cor. Eventually, we're not going to be able to we're not going to be able to reveal Christmas surprises like this.
I know.
Crazy,
Oops.
crazy. All right, guys. So let's get to our browsing from this past week. We did some fun browsing. There's some really good stuff in here. But to get us started, I feel like we always, start on vault because why?
Olympic order.
Olympic order. So getting us started on vault, we wanted to run down a list of some Yurchenko 1.5s that really caught our eye this past week. To get us started, UCLA's Riley Jenkins, Yurchenko 1.5, stuck at Meet the Bruins. Fantastic. Her team got so excited for her, and Riley, very well done. University of Kentucky, Delaney Rodriguez, stuck 1.5. Fantastic. Katie Duplessis, Michigan State, stuck Yurchenko 1.5. Unreal. Well done. Cam Smith and JJ Coleman from Ohio State, beautiful 1.5s that really just were so amazing. So to get us started, we just wanted to give you a little like what we refer to on our notes as the Y 1.5. This is the Y 1.5 segment of the day. Those were some highlights for me on our brows.
I want to note really quickly too that all five of those 1.5s are very different. Riley Jenkins doesn't get as much heightened distance as a JJ Coleman, but she's a really fast twister. And so the body position and how she wraps is really nice on the vault. And so it's interesting to see a couple of just different techniques. Same with Katie Duplessis. She has a very floaty, like I almost feel like she pauses in the air and takes her time a bit twisting and always ends up in a safe and fine position at the end. But then Cam Smith and JJ Coleman are really powerful, really aggressive. The distance is out of this world. So something as we go into season that I always really enjoy is watching how people do the same vault incredibly differently. And I think those five are a nice, diverse group of who does vault in a height distance manner and who's more of a wrap turn manner. And so that was just something that came to mind for me about those five.
What's really cool is I feel like heading into this season in particular, we've been seeing this Y 1.5 really get highlighted on social media. Some others that are coming to mind right now that we saw throughout the preseason that are really exciting heading into 2026. Morgan Price is a Yurchenko 1.5 that everyone needs to keep their eye on. We obviously have the Kaylin Chio vault from LSU. I saw a gorgeous 1.5 from Kayla DiCello recently. I actually saw, I think, 4 10 start value vaults that Florida highlighted from their team intrasquad. There's just some really exciting stuff. So I think we need to maybe like lock in on this Y 1.5 kind of idea. We'll see what happens. But those are my Yurchenko 1.5s to get us started on the brows.
The only other one I'll toss in there that I just remembered about that was fantastic was Ashley Sullivan's, freshman from UCLA. The power and speed is out of control. For her, it's going to be all about just containing the adrenaline and the energy. And if she can, I think that vault is going to score brilliantly throughout the season. But that was one more that just came to my mind that I remember seeing and being incredibly impressed by. Not to, I mean,
Yeah.
of course, she's very talented. But the other vault that I saw that is not a Y1.5, but is still a 10.0 start value, and that is Clemson's Bree Clark. We've talked about Bree a little bit in numerous scenarios. Her biles on floor. She did the gorgeous beat jump into punch front on beam that is so LCH coded. But what was amazing about Bree Clark is 4 months ago, she could not do a 10.0 start value vault. And she has learned one through these amazing drills that she did with their assistant coach Lucas, and the drills were amazing. It was watching her learn how to do just like the round off onto the table for the cause, and then continuing the flip, and then just the natural way your body would turn, and watching her do the progression of that in a reel that Clemson posted, and then it ended up with her doing the vault in their intra squad on hard surface. And I thought that that was fantastic for her because I think even Lucas says it in the video that she's so powerful and talented and that it wasn't being used the right way. And so now they're using it in this really great way for them. But also that you can learn new things in college. You don't have to learn something new just when you're in high school or middle school. You can go to college and actually advance your repertoire of skills and things that you can do. And that's so awesome. So kudos to her for many reasons. But that reel was an awesome way for fans to understand the progression of skills and how you don't just wake up one day and chuck something. There's a lot of strategy and mindfulness that goes into how to create a vault that's sustainable. So if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend watching it because it was very, very well done by them.
A great call out. And continuing on the vault train, I have to shout out Sophie Schriever from the University of Iowa. Iowa posted her gorgeous Yurchenko full-on pike off from their black and gold inter squad. And, I'll have to admit that vault as a concept is not my favorite thing to watch because oftentimes it kind of just gets really dumpy. They get to the table and then it just kind of falls to the ground. And this one popped off the table with really nice shape. So I'm excited to watch this throughout the season. And Sophie Schriever is absolutely someone to watch. And in addition to that, from the Iowa kind of recap of their black and gold inter squad, I did have my eye on a Jerquavia Henderson 1.5. I saw the twist end up at the halfway point. We didn't catch the landing in that video, but you know what? This is Jerquavia Henderson's comeback season, and it is going to be so exciting to watch her. We see a lot of her really powerful tumbling coming back on floor. She has a very similar bar routine to where she left off. And it just looks like she's thriving and she looks like she's just going to have an amazing season. And I just hope that she is living her best life and having a great time because she is a phenomenal athlete to watch.
And she was doing full ins on floor in the inter squad footage, which is so amazing. And I did notice that she used to do a double tuck off beam and now she's doing a double twist. So another great shift in skills. And yes, a double twist is arguably not as difficult as a double tuck off the beam, but she still has a lovely twist. It's very high. She can flare it and see the floor. So I hope that my crystal ball can foresee a very healthy, successful season for her because she really deserves it. Speaking of beam, you are going to agree with me completely on this. I didn't catch much of University of Michigan's inter squad this weekend. I was at a couple of different events, holiday events this weekend. But one thing I did catch was Kaylee Boozer's beam routine. Kaylee Boozer, we've talked about her a good amount. I have from a broadcast perspective and then also just on this podcast and how it took her a year to get under her belt before her sophomore year to break out and really shine for the Wolverines. And I think this season's going to be even better for her. Her beam routine that she did at their inter squad was absolutely drop dead stunning. I truly did not see a deduction. It was a funky angle. It wasn't a judge's angle. It was kind of a diagonal situation, but she knows how to work beam. And I love the structure, the composition of the routine. And just that dismount, that back handspring gainer full is massive. It's so good. So that was the only one that I really watched from Michigan's intra squad. I need to go back. I'm at that time in my life where I need to sit down and dedicate time to watch all these intra squads so I can become as acclimated as possible with these teams. But that was one routine that stuck out to me.
Yeah, it was so fun. And Kaylee Boozer is such an amazing athlete. We got to interview her last year ahead of the Big Ten championship, and she's a kind human. She's a great teammate, and I'm so pumped to watch her this season with the Michigan Wolverines. Okay, moving on to Georgia. We saw some really cool stuff coming from Georgia this week. Up first, Jeffrey Scott's bars. You guys, the routine is to die for. So dynamic, beautiful, amazing lines. Again, on the camera angle, we saw this really like unique, more creative for social camera angle on this video. But we have a beautiful Ray to pack release combination. Then we have Van Leeuwen up to the high bar with an amazing double layout on the finish. Um, that is absolutely a routine to watch. Jeffrey Scott bars, you guys, come on, it's so beautiful. Another thing we saw from Georgia was the incredible Lily Smith. Now, one of her beam routines got posted, and now the thing that's standing out to us is Lily Smith does gorgeous front aerial work, right? We see it in a series. We just see a front aerial back handspring. After that front aerial back handspring, she does her dance combination, but then we also see a front aerial to 2 feet, which is so dynamic and amazing. It's always been one of those like awe-inspiring things, and I have to give it a double take every time. Is like, is this a pike front toss or what am I looking at? It's so beautiful. And then towards the end of her routine, she does a front aerial split jump. So when Olivia and I were like watching this routine, we're like, wait a second, she does obviously the front aerial to 2 feet is a different skill because of the change in the landing position. But she does two front aerials. And so we actually had to sit down and calculate like her start value to make sure that she didn't need the value of the second front aerial in order to still start from her 10. And for those listeners that are listening right now, that everything I just said just went right over your head, that's okay. But for those that are super gym nerds, it's just a very interesting thing because Olivia and I really had to lock into her composition to just kind of see the creativity that they had to pour into her routine composition in order to get her to that start value, right? So this routine, while it's a combination of, or it's composed of a lot of quite simple skills, if you will, like we see one E skill in the front aerial to 2 feet. The dismount we have is a back handspring to a gainer full off the side. But we see this like cool combination of all these front aerials. She's doing a lot of skills that have the chance of being deducted on to compose the start value, but she does them in a very dynamic and gorgeous way. Her straight legs in her front aerial are just incredible, like awe inspiring. So we had to mention Lily Smith in this lineup. And the last thing that I'm going to mention from Georgia is we saw our first view of Kamara Williams on campus in Athens at their preview meet. And she opened up her floor routine with an amazing double layout. You guys, she's going to be a freshman to watch this year, and I cannot wait to see her just crush it in some lineups in those SEC matchups, especially this season. Going to be super exciting. So a lot of good stuff coming from the University of Georgia.
Those were great. The only thing I'll add on as it pertains to Lily Smith is could you imagine being so talented and executionally gifted that you can just add another front aerial in there knowing it's not there's no built-in no built-in deductions or anything. Just toss it right on in there. And the first thing I said to you was, well, just add a jump or something. But to others who might, jumps might be their go-to for like another D or a C. For her, it's a front aerial, which is just beyond impressive. So I wanted to put that out there because you'll hear commentators, myself included, talk about built-in deductions, and it essentially just means that someone might have a lagging leg on a giant and the judges will constantly deduct for the bend in the knee. That's like a built-in deduction that didn't happen because they wobbled or they had an error in that way, and there just is none in her gymnastics. And so I found that to be incredibly impressive in so many ways. That is how she got to the composition of the routine. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is Ohio State posted a bunch of Instagram stories of their intra-squad, and there were some major highlights for me. First and foremost is Tori Vetter is a senior, and I can't believe that. So I'm just like mind blown that she has been so clutch. I remember last year she was leading the all-around in the conference right up until the Big Ten championship. And, you know, UCLA joined, MSU was on fire last year, Minnesota and Michigan had great years. You can never count her out. And so that's someone that I'm very excited to watch her compete this season. But a few other highlights that came out to me: Natalie Martin, former Terp, is now at Ohio State. It took me a moment when there was a video posted of her doing a beam routine, and I was just thinking to myself, why is she there? Oh, wait, she transferred. Her beam looked solid as always. Really excited for her to be on this Ohio State squad. She seems really happy. So I'm excited to watch her, but nice to see her in the footage. And then Ava Jackson, she's a freshman. I saw a couple of videos of her, and I'm very, very excited about her. Her bars was lovely. She went toe handstand to a very Anastasia Webb-esque pack. It was massive. She had the really nice Nastia Anastasia pop. You gym fan nerds know exactly what I'm talking about. Van Leeuwen to a double A. It was lovely. I think that's going to be a second half of the bar lineup routine for them. And then on beam, I saw her do this switch half Sissone, which I'm still a little perplexed by saying that as well. But she did a switch half, and she landed on one leg as a la Sissone and stepped forward and then continued to dance through. And I've personally never seen that before. I thought it was absolutely lovely. So if anyone knows if it has a name or not, let me know. But I just thought it was beautiful, and I can't wait to talk about that on air in person because it was gorgeous. And then Courtney McCann. Courtney McCann hit the scene a couple years ago. She did her first ever competitive beam routine for the Bucks, 9975. She goes round off layout on the beam. It's stunning. And then she kind of had a little bit of trouble afterward. I talked to her at a couple meets, and she said she just kind of got in her head. And now this year, I've seen tons of footage of her slaying the round off layout. And this weekend's intra-squad was no exception, and it was beautiful. So here's to hoping she has a really solid, steady season, because she's just a gem that we should keep our eyes out for.
Up next, we're going to make our way over to Norman, Oklahoma, because there was some footage that got posted that even KJ on the microphone, KJ Kindler, the head coach of the University of Oklahoma, on the microphone in the arena said, "This was built for social media," was Ella Murphy. You guys, Ella Murphy goes Kipcast handstand and holds it. Now, I should go back and clock it. Honestly, we should get a little video footage with a little timer of how long she held it. Start a little competition this season. It was very like Shilese Jones goat tour laced, right? We kept seeing her hold that handstand on the high bar during the goat tour after the Olympics. But oh, and we also had that video. Do you remember that video of Kayla DiCello and I believe it was Sky Blakely, where they like
Yes.
did all the questions? They asked each other like hot questions, holding a handstand on the low bar. Hilarious. But anyways, Ella Murphy slayed the handstand hold on the low bar during their little like team preview. So I was really pumped with what I was seeing from Norman with this little social media buzz moment. That was in addition to a lot of other amazing things that happened down there.
That is a wild talent. There are not a lot of people who can do that. I most certainly never was able to, but that is a type of balance that is out of this world. So great note by you. Now, do you want to know something I found out of this world in this last week? Are you ready?
Tell me.
It was announced that the legend that is Maya Lazan is now an assistant coach at the University of California. I have been waiting for this. I know she wanted to coach. I know there was a little bit of a discussion of a potential eligibility situation with her, but I cannot imagine a better person to be a part of a coaching staff in a new era of Cal to bring the energy, mindset, and focus that the former coaches and team had, just to bring that into this new squad. Like that's invaluable to have her on this coaching staff. And I'm so excited for her to begin this journey in a new position, in a new way, and how she can help the team. And a lot of her teammates are still on the team. So it'll be just really nice to watch that dynamic happen. But kudos to Maya. We're so proud of you, so excited for you. And just what an amazing, amazing announcement to happen this week.
I couldn't agree more. And honestly, personality hire with all of the accolades and the brain and the every like the smarts and the coaching and the gymnastics, all of it, right? Such an amazing human being, a great leader. We saw that on the gymnastics floor year in, year out. So I'm so excited for the Bears to have Maya over there on the coaching staff. Those are some great browse that we did from this past week on the interwebs. And so let's finish up today with the top 10 things that we are looking forward to in the 2026 NCAA gymnastics season. So we're going to take them one at a time. Up first, I got to say, in no particular order by any means, but I got to say, up first is the rise of Clemson gymnastics. You guys, preseason polls by conference came out this past week. They have Clemson ranked number 2 behind Stanford, which I think is an amazing, amazing feat coming out of a season where, if I remember correctly, Clemson was not in the evening session of their conference championship. But we have this moment where we are just so excited to wait. I'm sitting here thinking, is that wrong? How many ACC teams were there last year? NC State, UNC, Clemson, Stanford,
Pitt.
Cal. So there was Pitt, six. There wasn't an evening session. Yeah, okay. Whew, I was like having a moment. But you guys, no, they were not in the evening session last year, and now to be preseason ranked number 2 says a lot about the stuff that we are seeing. Right? In past episodes, we mentioned 6 Tenno start value vaults. In this episode, we talked about the Bree Clark vault that's like up and coming. We obviously have new coaching staff at the helm at Clemson. Very exciting stuff. Ella Cesario is someone to watch for sure, amongst a lot of other athletes that are on that squad. So I'm very excited in 2026 to watch how Clemson will rise in the rankings and probably knock some people's socks off.
Ditto. Second one that I want to highlight is the new NQS rules. We did a whole episode pretty much talking about this with Scott Bregman, which was super informative. My mom did notify me that even though she listened to the whole breakdown, she was still incredibly confused, which is okay. All you need to know is that every competition is going to count, which is a new change and it's really exciting. So don't want to talk more about it since we did in a previous episode, but just super excited to see how that plays out this year and how it could impact regionals, national championship, bracket seeding, which will be exciting.
Yeah, I agree. Up third for me, in again, no particular order, is coming off of a season of Dancing with the Stars. Obviously, the Jordan Childs effect on fan engagement for NCAA gymnastics, I think could have a really big, significant impact. And obviously, me being a fan engagement nerd, I am so excited about it. We do see some universities when UCLA is coming to their home venue are going into larger venues. That's the beginning of this effect. And I just believe as we see competitions growing, fans growing, attendance growing, we have to give credit where credit is due to be able to say that we have a 2024 Olympic medalist competing in college gymnastics. It's driving fans to come and observe our sport and to be able to bring more attention to our sport. So I'm so pumped to see how that impacts and rises the tide of so many great things going on in college gymnastics this season. Not to mention, I'm excited to watch her do gymnastics still because she has an incredible, incredible way about throwing down some perfection when it comes to some skills in the sport that is all about the perfect 10.
That was a great one. I completely agree with you. On the flip side of Jordan Childs, and she's a senior now, I am so excited to watch the freshman class across the board in the NCAA this year. I cannot rack my brain for a team that does not have at least one incredibly exciting freshman coming into their program this year. And I think that's a super cool new, like, era moment for us when we think about the era of the Haley Bryants, and then we think about the era of, back when Michigan, and with Abby High School, and with all those ladies. Like, this feels era-y to me, not to feel my Taylor Swift vibe, but it feels like we're in a new era, and it just really excites me. And so I'm thrilled beyond belief to watch all of these athletes hit the scene, have fun, experience the light and joy of college gymnastics, and just know we get to watch them for 4 years, which is so exciting.
So exciting, so exciting. The Khalees Wolfords of the world, the Kamara Williams. We have all of the freshmen, Nola Matthews. We have Tiana Sumana-Sakura. Like, there's so many. We could go across the whole NCAA of just some amazing. Ali Cucci from the University of Arkansas is going to be a name that you guys are all going to want to follow. It's going to be so fun. All right, up next, you guys in 2026, it's going to bring new leotards. New leotards will be on the scene. Olivia is so pumped about it. Obviously, we're going to have our eyes on Michigan State. No pressure, Nicole Curler, but you are the reigning queen of the leotard game. But I have to say one thing about the leotard game. The Pantone color of the year, it was told for 2026, is white. Okay. Down south in Baton Rouge, we always have heard winners wear white. And well, will we have more winners this year in the leotard game and see that white moment continuing to happen? We always see them towards the postseason kind of moment. A lot, there's a lot of opinions on the topic of the color white on leotard, but I'm interested. Pantone color of the year, will it align? Will it align across the board in the NCAA for our new leotards in 2026?
Regardless, give me the new Leos, everyone. Mommy's feeling some good leotards this year. Okay, you touched on it briefly, Corey, and I know this is your MO, your bread and butter, but meets in newer and bigger arenas. Missouri announced that they're going to have all of their competitions in a bigger arena. We just touched on Illinois and Michigan State. Arkansas is going to have, I believe, all of their meets in Barnhill. And so, right,
Bud
Barnhill?
Walton in
Bud
Bud Walton
Walton.
Arena. Yes,
Bud
in Bud
Walton,
Walton
thank
Arena.
you. But,
Yeah.
like, how cool is that? That is the effect, yes, of Jordan Childs and the big names. It's also the effect of the fan engagement and the excitement and a lot of the work that you're doing too. So major kudos to you, but also, like, so hyped and excited to see more fans have the ability to watch their teams, because that means that we get more exciting big arenas because more people want to go, and that's amazing.
Amen to that. I mean, it's going to be so exciting this season. It's just going to be so, so, so good. All right. Olivia crept something on this list that I'm just reacting to in live time. I guess Olivia is going to look forward in 2026 to the banning of 6'7". Now, here's what I'll have to say to this is I have a feeling that we will hear it. First part of the season, it's going to be this, like, fan moment that we're going to try to grab on to that, like, population of young kids who are all going to be in the stands going 6'7", 6'7". But it'll probably drift away. But I mean, dictionary.com did say it's being added to the or word of the year, whatever it was. So
It's literally two words.
I know. Okay. Yeah. Well, banning of 6'7" potentially in the 2026 season. I can't believe you crept that one onto the list. It's good nonetheless.
It has to go. But what doesn't have to go is nods to Wicked. And I am looking forward to any and all opportunities for schools and programs to nod to Wicked in floor routines, in captions, in leotards, in everything you can imagine. I'm expecting it. I cannot wait. I want everyone to lean into the bubble mentality with grandoise and I want all of the Obsessica Albas of the world to just, like, let's do it. I want Wicked. I want all of it. I want to defy gravity. I want to dance through life. I want to be changed for good.
You're so popular.
Toss toss.
Toss toss. I'm so here for it. The moment I see an a floor routine ending with the nice Oz does ballroom pose, come on, I'm so here for it. And I will tell you,
BJ.
yeah, BJ at BJ Das, assistant coach UCLA. I will tell you that it was not someone in the college scene, but I have seen a rendering of a wicked knotted leotard. That's all I can say. That's all I can say.
Okay.
All right. Number nine on the list, in no particular order, are what the commentator duos are going to be this year. We have obviously more streaming of college gymnastics, which is so exciting. They're happening all over the country. We also have all of the like what I'll refer to as the uh, streaming plus duos. You know, we have those on-campus commentators that each school can bring together. We thought Evan Heider and Janae Honest at UCLA with Meet the Bruins happen. But we also have some great alumni that step onto campuses and commentate. Bailey Rowe from University of Utah, great, has been commentating in Seattle for the University of Washington the last couple of seasons, which is so awesome just to keep those voices and people engaged. But this coming year, I always think that like the ESPN duos are quite interesting to see how those end up panning out, see which people are still commentating. Obviously, many of those amazing commentators have other things that they do in their life, as do you, Olivia. You know, we have our resident sparkling water borrower from her full-time job, thank goodness. That and she's also working for the Big Ten Network. And so we are going to see some great new commentator duos. And I think there's also going to be some new people on the scene, some new alumni that step into these spaces that we haven't heard their voice just yet, but we are going to be hearing them in 2026. So I can't wait to hear some really amazing voices bringing value to the artistry, power, athleticism, and just amazingness that is college gymnastics this year.
I love it. Something tells me we're just gonna get some real fun duos. So let's stay
I'm
tuned, I guess.
I'm
Okay,
excited.
final thing we are looking forward to on our list of the top 10 things we're looking forward to in the 2026 season. You guessed it. Perfect tens. Now, my disclaimer of that is I want to see actual perfect tens. We all know what that means. Not on the athlete, that's on judging, but perfect tens. They're exciting, they drive engagement, and they create virality. What we figured out from last year, thanks to, I believe it was a USA Gymnastics article, I also used ChatGPT, is that there were 44 perfect tens in the NCAA last season. Now, Corey, am I crazy or did you tell me it was in like the 80s the year before?
It was yeah, I read somewhere it was 87 in 2024.
And 44 in 2025. So,
Yeah.
what's going to be really interesting is how many perfect tens we're going to see in the 2026 season. So, Corey, my question to you, what is your prediction?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say is I think the number significantly decreased last year because of the new scoreboard, score analysis and judging oversight concept that they introduced, which I know is going to still be implemented this year. Now, I don't think it's going to be as quote unquote threatening to the judges. But I do think that we still have this concept of judges oversight and kind of locking in some of those things. So I'm going to make my prediction to be 67.
You were going to do that. I actually kind of thought about doing it low key, and then I was like,
Right.
but I'm the one that hates it. That's great. I think you're actually, I mean, that is really truly right in the middle of the last 2 years. So I think you're onto something. I'm going to go a little bit on the lower side than you, and I'm going to say 60.
Yeah.
Just seven minus. I think we're in the
Yeah.
same bubble of what we think.
Yeah.
So I'm curious.
Here's my thing on it is I think toward the end of last season we saw some tens getting thrown a little bit more similarly to like what we kind of saw in 2024. So while I think that at this point, right, December of last year, there was this huge like fear, I would say, of like what was this scoreboard concept, this like judges like coming down on judges a little bit harsher. concept going to do to the scoring. But I think once we got towards the end of the season, it got a little bit looser, right? We saw that at the Big Ten
Right.
championship, like 10, 10, 10s across the board was the way that it started to feel. Um, but but I will also add just one more note on this is that one of my favorite moments from 2020, the 2025 season, was the fact that in the wake of all of this concept of judges and what is perfect and what are deductions and blah, 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 the judges got the first perfect 10 correct in 2025. And if you remember correctly, it's our girl, Helen Hu. Helen Hu secured the first perfect 10 of the 2025 season in her routine away at Missouri. And it was divine. It was incredible. And yes, this is our Helen Hu mention of the episode. Ding, ding, ding. But they got it right. They got it right. Now I'm going to quickly go through this list because I see the 44, and I'm just going to name some names of the athletes that secured perfect 10 so that we can keep this in our minds as we head into the 2026 season. Helen Hu, Jordan Childs, Maya Lazan, Morgan Trice from Fisk, remember that on bars. Kennedy Griffin, Missouri, Lily Hudson, Alabama, Leanne Wong Sloan Blakely of Florida, Grace McCallum, Utah, Faith Torres, Oklahoma, Selena Harris, Kreslin Bros from the University of Kentucky, Aaliyah Finnegan, Danny Ferris, Kaylin Chio, Jade Carey, Gabby Stevens, Sienna Alipio. Sienna Alipio, you guys. You guys, fantasy. Come on, let's go. Brooklyn Moores, Uwe Soma, Lali Dekanoidza from from North Carolina. That was a great one. I remember that. Riley McCusker at the conference championship on bars. Remember that. Mara Titasole from Missouri. And I have to just do an honorable mention moment right here. Do you remember at regionals in Washington when Jordan Bowers scored 10 on vault, bars, and floor?
Insane.
Insane. Okay. Those names, awesome. I also love that you have those that don't even make the national championship in that name or in that list, right? You have the Morgan Price of Fisk when she was competing for Fisk last year. You have Lolly Dekanoidza of the UNC on there. Some really great players in that world. And then you have some great ones that are competitors at the national championship. So let's see who adds to the ranks of this of the tens this year.
I'm
Now,
excited.
okay, Olivia, off the cuff, you said we were gonna have to go to the 12 days, the 12 moments. What is your off the cuff one more thing to add, and then I will add my one more thing.
New sparkling water flavors. I want to see some crazy flavors out there. I'm talking like Ozdust Ballroom Orange Slice. Like, give me the craziest. Honestly, like I would even be open to company like university branded flavors. Like if Spindrift was like the Spartan Punch flavor for Michigan State, or like the Bruin Blueberry Bubble. Like just give me some new flavors.
The past 30 seconds being off the cuff is unhinged. You just came up with two iconic flavors, one of which involves a gymnastics pun calling it Spartan Punch, like punching the board. Crazy. You're so cool.
I mean, like, I'm more than happy to consult for any sparkling water company interested in breaking into the collegiate naming convention flavoring scene.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Okay, ready for my off the cuff?
Yes.
Coach's fashion.
Oh, good one.
Coach's fashion. I have to admit, it's one of my favorite things to, let's just say, observe. We won't go as far as judge, but we will go as far as saying observe. Um, I just think the shoe game has been changing recently. Will we see athleisure more often? Is like, are we seeing 6-inch stilettos walking across 10-centimeter mats, or will we see more Gucci loafers from the occasional? Will JCH wear Clemson high socks because he had to retire his Cal socks? Will we see an Argyle pant from JCH? I saw posted on Jackie Turpak from the University of Missouri, her story. She was showing off some of her new fits. Jordan Weber is not pregnant anymore. Will we see some new fashion from Jordan Weber? I just think we're in for a treat. We are in for a treat. As well, we have a lot of recent additions to the college coaching realm who were in club coaching before. And will they hop out of their team sweats and hop into some business casual or take a note out of the Jenny Rowland book and
Bookstore chic.
go to bookstore chic? Yeah. You know, I'm just excited for it. And that rounds out our 12 days of not giveaways, but 12 days of hype for 2026.
I love it.
Speaking of 12 days of giveaways, there are days where I remember coming home from school and watching Ellen's 12 days of giveaways. And I just loved like the set pieces that they did. This is so random, but I just there was something about Christmas and 12 days of giveaways that was so fun. Just to see like, anyways, oh, wow.
That is so niche.
It's so niche. And so, anyways, this is when I say I digress. How's the metal applicator on your
To die for.
to die
To
for?
die.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. She's just putting on lip gloss and my eyes were drawn. That was so fun. Olivia, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas with your family. And say hello to your mom and your dogs and your grandma and your brother. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Corey. Tell the Tomlinson clan how much I adore them.
We've never done this voice on the podcast before.
A friend voice? No.
Has anyone seen Fran Drescher the nanny?
We love Herdswall.
We love her duel. Yeah, you know who doesn't love it? Olivia's boyfriend, Scooter. He hates it.
Scooter hates when Fran wakes up.
Defrosting. She's
Fran's
defrosting.
defrosting.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. Well, we hope everyone has a phenomenal Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate. Happy holidays to all of you. And we will have an episode coming out on New Year's Eve. So we'll wish you a happy new year at that moment in time. Set your goals, create your vision boards. It is bound to be an amazing 2026, but we are taking next week off just to be horizontal, more than likely. Eat a Christmas cookie, if you will. So, on that note, we hope you guys have a phenomenal week, 2 weeks ahead. Happy holidays, and we are just so grateful for you. All right, with that, we're out. Bye, guys.